Many years ago when I was going to Douglas College, there was a restaurant that I would go to every morning to have breakfast. And because I go there every morning, I would get to know the customers and know the people. And there was one particular guy. He was maybe in his late 20s and we would talk because we eat the same thing, scrambled eggs and the steak every morning. And we talked and I got to know him a bit. At first he was very, very quiet. Then later on I found out he was actually in the phone sex business. And a very successful guy. He was making about $500,000 a year. And we got to talk, and because we see each other every day, he would share with me how the business works. What are his secrets for his phone sex business? I was fascinated by it because a phone sex business, what is that? Like, how does that work? But he is a very normal guy. He's not like one of weirdos, anything like that. And we would talk, and he shared 4 particular secrets with me, and I still remember, and I want to share that with you today. The first thing is, I asked him the question, so tell me about the phone sex business. How does that work? He said, well, if you think about it, the business that we're in, if you think people call because they want to have sex with someone on the phone remotely, he said that's right, but that's not the business I'm in. He said, take a guess, Dan, what business do you think I'm in? Yeah, phone sex business. He said, no, I don't know, like people release business? No. He said, I'm in the fantasy business. I said, that's interesting. Fantasy business. Yep. I'm in the business of selling people fantasy. And I thought that was very profound because most people don't know the business they're in. They don't understand what they're actually selling. So secret number 1 is, do you know the business that you're in? You may be thinking, I'm in the software business, I'm in the internet marketing business, I am in the manufacturing business. But do you really know the business that you're in? My friend knows the business he's in. He's in a fantasy business. Let's go for a walk. And by the way, if you're thinking, as you know, if you follow my work, I don't drink coffee. This is my green tea. And secret number 2, he said, you also need to know who you're selling to. He said at first when he was building a business, he thought his market was the blue collar, right? The blue collar people. He was running ads back then, Yellow Pages and different newspapers and all those. Like he was targeting those type of audience. He said he was struggling. He wasn't making enough money. But then he changed his approach. Instead of selling to blue collar, he switched to sell to white collar, professionals, CEOs, believe it or not, and business people. And that changed his approach. And suddenly he's making more money and more money and more money. So secret number 2 is this, he's learned that he needs to sell to people who's got money. And that's one of the big philosophies that I keep preaching, sell to players with money, right? Sell to players with money. You want to sell to people who's got money, you want to know exactly who you are selling to, who is exactly your target audience, right? Number 3, you also need to know exactly what you're selling. He said, Dan, what I'm selling is very simple. He said 1/3 therapy, 1/3 is sex, 1/3 is fantasy. Again, 1/3 therapy, 1/3 is sex, 1/3 is fantasy. What that means is this. He said, although we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different types of customers, but really, he said, believe it or not, it only boils down to maybe 10 to 12 types of customers that would call the phone sex operators. And I thought that's pretty interesting. They said only 10 or 12. That you might think they have all hundreds of different types of fantasy. No, maybe about 10 or 12. So what he would have is he would have kind of like a script for each one of them. So they know if it's customer A, type A, he would know, okay, let's give him this type of script, and they would love it. It's very, very powerful. So exactly know what you are selling. And another thing he shared with me is the people who work in the industry, that he's not exploiting people or anything like that. Actually, a lot of them are like stay-at-home mom. It could be in their 30 to 40s, maybe in the 50s, although that's not the ad image that is being run. It could be like the image, usually like a 20-some-odd years old. But most of the people who are working as phone sex operators, they're like 30, 40, 50 years, probably 40, 50 years old. Mom, so stay-at-home mom, and they make a very good living. It's never like he is exploiting them, anything like that. It's all because that's what they want to do, and they make a good living from home, and it's okay, right? And they're professionals. And that's something that's surprising to me. Last secret. He said it's all about customer loyalty. It's all about customer loyalty. So you might think that maybe these people, the customers, they would call and they would never call back again. He said it's not right. He said you'll be surprised how many people they would call, they talk to an operator, and then they would call them back and they would specifically request, I want to talk to that operator again and again and again. So one thing that he did is pretty smart, because this whole business, it's about how long you can keep them on the phone. So because they charge per minute. The longer they're on the phone, the better. He said he's got customers who call in, it could be a 5-minute phone call, 5-minute transaction. He said he's got people on the phone for 5 fucking hours. I mean, you cannot jack off for 5 hours, let's face it. But 5 hours. He said it's all about customer loyalty. Once they get to know the person, they develop quote unquote that relationship. Even it's a fantasy, it's a fake relationship through the phone. Again, part therapy, part sex, part fantasy. They would call back and request that person. So what he did is, he said if after the first call, the second call, if you want the same person, the phone operator would actually get a higher percentage in terms of commission. So it is in the phone sex operators, their best interest to get them to come back and call them back again and again and again and again. So I thought that was very interesting. So that's the best kept secrets of the phone sex business. Maybe it's something that you could learn from it. Maybe you find it offensive, like, Dan, why are you talking about phone sex business? Don't be so close-minded. You can learn from any kind of business. Until this very day, I still remember talking with him, having a breakfast, just sharing these with me. Think about that.